Thank you for tuning in to another makeup tutorial. And right now I'm going to do a tutorial of a going out, or should I say evening look for darker skin. So I want to say my model today have combination skin because she's kind of dry and kind of shiny at the same time. So I'm going to go in and prime her with the MAC Cosmetics Natural Radiance in Colored Yellow. So I'm going to start off with the brows first, and I'm using my go-to brow eyeshadow, which is called Espresso, which you can find at MAC Cosmetics. And I'm using a flat, dense brush to shape up her brows. I'm shaping them up with the concealer NC50, which is the Pro Longwear NC50 in MAC. And this is how I normally shape up the brows. I clean up underneath, and I also go over top with my brush. And I do like to use a concealer shade that's like maybe a smidge lighter than her actual skin complexion. I don't like to go too light because it looks weird when you have like a white spot over top of the brows. I also like for my brows to look kind of natural, and I don't feel like it looks natural when people use like 10 shades lighter of a concealer to highlight their brow. It just doesn't look natural to me. That's why I like to stay with the same skin tone. And I can't remember where I got this concealer brush from, but another concealer brush you should try out is the 195 synthetic concealer brush by MAC Cosmetics. That is one great one you can use to shape up your brows. And in this moment, I like to take my brush and drag the concealer down. I like to blend it downwards a little bit. Then I'll go in with a blending brush to try to blend out the concealer to make it look very smooth. My style of makeup is more on the natural side, but I also like a little bit of drama as well. I try not to be too dramatic. When I am going to go dramatic, it's always going to be just a hint of naturalness. And as you can see how I'm applying the brow shadow, I like to take my angle brush and do like soft light strokes upwards for the brows, and like maybe do a little shape towards the end of the tail. I want to call it the tail part of the brow. And yeah, doing this technique really make it look more natural versus draw it on like a fake brow. I really don't like that style of brow, so this is how I normally fill in my brows. And taking that Pro Longwear NC50 concealer again and pretty much cleaning up the bottom part of the brows, and also going top to give it a little bit more shape. And one thing that I noticed, you really don't need eyeshadow primer for the lids as long as you're dragging the concealer down and blending it out on your eyelids. And then if you set it with powder, that will really make your makeup or eyeshadow last all day versus spending your money on a primer, which I find to be just extra money. And again, blending out that concealer with a blending brush. You don't want to leave that concealer line above your brows because it looks kind of weird. It just doesn't look blended. It just doesn't look right. Just always blend out that concealer with a blending brush above your brows. It's going to look really natural at the end. So after setting her concealer with powder, I went in with my first eyeshadow shade from the Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette. And I'm first applying that dark brown shade, and I'm blending the eyeshadow in windshield wiper motion. That's the name of the technique. And also, if it helps, you can always go in with a clean blending brush and just blend the eyeshadow out even more. You definitely don't want the eyeshadow to be like smacked on the eye. You really want it to be blended as much as possible. And the next eyeshadow that I'm putting on is called I'm Into It, and it's a matte eyeshadow from MAC Cosmetics. It's a deep wine color. This color really complements deeper skin tone, that's why I chose this to be her transition shade. Next, I'm applying that new MAC Cosmetics Pro Longwear paint pot, and most definitely it is a cream green sparkly eyeshadow color. And I'm applying that with a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm using patting motions to apply that paint pot. So next I'm going in with this shimmery shade in the Huda Beauty Retrograde palette. This shade is called Mercury. And the palette, it looks kind of greenish mixed with blue. But I thought it was going to turn out more green than blue. That's why I chose this color. But when I actually put it on, I see that it's mostly blue. But that's okay. I'm still going to proceed on with a blue smoky eyeshadow look. So my model has a protruding eye shape or a descending eye shape, and this is how I would place my lid color. I will pat the lid or drag the lid all the way up to this point, and I would stop. I wouldn't drag the eyeshadow up any higher. Next, I'm smoking out the corners of her eye with the deep shade in that Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette. And I'm using a small blending brush to blend out the corners. And like I said before, I like to go in with a clean blending brush and just to smooth out the edges of that eyeshadow. I never like to leave the eyeshadow unblended because yeah, you know. And now you know I'm going in with my favorite double-sided eyeliner. It's from MAC. It's the Dual Dare Black. I'm using the felt tip part to do the wing liner. Because my model have a wide set eye, I like to do a thick wing liner on her. One technique that I learned while working for MAC, I would take my flat concealer brush and I would take a little bit of that skin refine zone and just like slick upwards from the eyeliner just to give it that sharp eyeliner look. So the mascara that I'm using on her is the MAC Cosmetics Extreme Dimension Mascara. This mascara creates more volume and more curl to her lashes. And even though I'm putting fake lashes on her, I definitely feel like it is a must to put mascara on your real lashes before the fake ones, because if you were to put the fake lashes over top of your lashes that don't have mascara on them, you can kind of see the difference between the color of your natural hair versus the lashes. And make sure when you're gluing your lashes, you're just putting a strip of glue at the strip of the lash band. Please don't get glue on your actual lashes, because you can see that the glue makes the lashes clumpy and it just doesn't look right. It looks really nasty looking. So just please be careful and put the glue on the lash band. Another thing I wanted to add is please get the lash band as close to your lash line as possible. Please don't put your lashes like right on your eyelid, because I've seen people do that and it just looks really weird. Now I'm going to take my mini taper brush from MAC Cosmetics, and I'm going to take that cream eyeshadow or the paint pot, and most definitely, and I'm going to smudge that out under her eyes. For foundation, I use the light coat of MAC Cosmetics Studio Fix Fluid in shade NC55, which is a rich golden undertone for a neutral cool complexion. Then to brighten up her under eyes, I use the MAC Cosmetics Pro Longwear Concealer in shade NC45. So the areas that you would normally place the concealer, which would be the under eyes and the center of the forehead down to the nose and the chin and the cupid's bow. Now I'm going to take that Conceal and Correct palette by MAC in Extra Deep, and I'm going to contour her cheekbones and the corners of her forehead, and I'm also going to contour her nose. To blend out her highlight, I'm going to use patting motions to blend out that concealer. You don't want to use wiping motions because you're going to completely wipe away the concealer. It won't look like a highlight to that point if you do wiping motions. So it's always best to do patting motions. To blend out the contour, I'm going to first take a little bit more of that Studio Fix Fluid Foundation in NC55, and I'm going to just take a little bit and blend in circular motions upwards above the contour, so that way it can be completely blended and you don't see that really deep dark line or streak going down her cheeks. And the same thing with the corners of her forehead and her nose as well. I really like to take my time to blend out everything. I don't like to leave any harsh lines or streaks within the makeup. I make sure everything is nice and smooth and even. I'm going to add a little bit more of that NC45 Pro Longwear Concealer from MAC. This is a full coverage makeup tutorial, by the way, so just keep that in mind. So that's why I'm going in with a little bit more concealer. I really want her under eyes to be bright, and I want it to stand out just a little bit. And once again, I'm going to use patting motions to blend out her concealer under her eyes. So now I'm going to bake under her eyes with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Powder in shade Honey, and this is going to brighten up her under eyes as well. And I'm also going to put it on her forehead, nose, and chin, the same areas where I used the concealer, the NC45 concealer, to brighten up the center of her face. I'm going to go back over with that Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Powder Honey, and this time I'm going to just set it under the eyes again, and I'm going to set it for like maybe up to 5 minutes, and then I'm going to blend it away. This is going to make her under eyes a little bit more brighter. That's why I'm going back in with it again. So I was trying to bronze her cheekbones with MAC Cosmetics Powder Blush in Raisin. Raisin is like a brownish, reddish undertone blush. It can be good for contouring, but I kind of feel like the Raisin had too much like purple in it. I mean, it's just a nice shade for blush, but I don't think I would ever use this as a contour bronzer like ever. And I'm going to just use my small blending brush and take some of that same Raisin blush, and I'm going to contour her nose with it. Now I'm going to lightly buff away that setting powder that I set under her eyes earlier. And you notice how bright under her under eyes are? That's because I baked the powder under her under eyes, and that really made it even more bright. And not only does it make it bright, baking under the under eyes also reduce the oil and shine that your skin produces. Now I'm going to go in with my MAC Cosmetics Powder Blush and Rosy Does It. Now I'm going to go in with my Becca Cosmetics Highlighter in shade Rose Gold. This is a nice shade for a deeper skin complexion. I'm going to just apply it above the cheekbones and a little bit on her forehead, down the bridge of her nose, and a little bit on her chin and Cupid's bow. This is optional. You don't always have to use a highlighter, but highlighter is my favorite, so I can't do a makeover without it. So now I'm going to take that MAC matte lipstick in shade Double Fudge, which is a rich deep brown lipstick, and I'm just going to take that with my lip brush and I'm going to outline her lips with it. I'm also going to take some of that MAC lipstick in shade Photo, which is a light brown lipstick that I'm going to add to the center, which is a nice neutral everyday look that you can use for any deep complexion. So I'm going to top off everything with the infamous lip gloss from MAC Cosmetics. This lip gloss is called Old Baby, which is a very popular lip gloss that sells the best at MAC. And this is pretty much the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching yet another one of my makeup tutorials. I hope you find all of my techniques very useful. I hope you take in everything that you learned from this video. Please stay tuned for the next upcoming videos that I post, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.